Could bonds be the new stocks? Consider fixed income solutions from TriStar Financial, specializing in bonds and Roth IRA conversions. Find out at tristarfinancial.us and listen to What's Working Now, weekday afternoons at 4 on CNN 650 Radio News, presented by TriStar Financial.
The following took place on Sports Radio 610 in Houston, Texas, USA, Earth.
David Squires joins us. He's been covering this story from over in the Virginia Beach area. And David, we were show prepping today around 1:30 Central Time, looking for some stuff to talk about, and our producer says, "Oh, by the way, there was a shooting at Michael Vick's birthday party. You want to hear about it?" I said, "Yeah, let's hear about it." And David, from what you know, what is the actual story, everything you've heard so far?
Okay, most of what I heard is what I wrote. And basically, Michael Vick turns 30 tomorrow. And Michael Vick is from Newport News. The Daily Press, our newspaper, is in Newport News. We cover Newport News in Hampton, called the Peninsula, and we do some stuff if Vick is involved across the water in Virginia Beach. So there'll be several parties for Vick. Well, maybe the others will be canceled now. But at this party, Vick was there. Apparently, fiance was there, and a lot of friends, family was there. It was a party that you pay your money, you could go in. And Quantas Phillips showed up. Quantas Phillips is one of the defendants. And from what I gather, a conversation started. One, because Quantas and Michael aren't supposed to associate with one another because they were co-defendants. And, the stories I'm getting is that either, somebody put some cake in somebody's face. And I don't know whether Quantas put it in Mike's face or whether he smushed it in his face or somebody put cake in Quantas' face. But from what I gather, the conversation moved outside. I do not know at what point Michael Vick left, but I'm hearing that Vick and his fiance may have been ushered away. But I hear a punch was thrown and then a shot was fired.
And this was not actually in the restaurant. This was in the parking lot outside?
In the parking lot when the shot was fired.
Is there have the police said anything about suspects? Are they looking for somebody? Do they have an idea of who shot? I mean, that many people around for a party, somebody must have seen what happened.
One of the reports that I heard is that there was a GM SUV. They think the shooter was in a white GM SUV.
So that's presumably who they're looking for.
I think they have an idea who they're looking for, but they say witnesses and the victim were uncooperative.
All right, so what we're getting then is that this was at Michael Vick's birthday party. Apparently he and Quantas Phillips, who he's not supposed to be associating with, got into a shouting match. Got into an argument.
I don't know whether it was shouting or what, but it was a confrontation.
All right, then Michael's escorted out. He's taken away from the party, correct?
Well, we're not sure. We think. That's one version.
Confrontation moves outside, and you have some people saying that Michael left the party at that point.
Right. You do have people saying that Mike had gone, and his lawyer has gone on the record to say that Mike wasn't around during the shooting. But notice the wording from his lawyer. It said Michael wasn't around, I think, when the shooting occurred.
Right, he wasn't there, but it doesn't necessarily say that he didn't have something to... And we don't know that, and I'm sure the police are getting into that. This is David Squires from the Daily Press in Newport News, Virginia, joining us. He's been covering this, had the details on the cake fight that preceded this shooting involving Michael Vick, one of the co-defendants from his trial. I wanted to ask you about that association thing, because, hey, if I go to prison and do my time for whatever, when I get out, I wouldn't think that I would be prohibited from seeing certain people. But when you say they're not supposed to be associating with each other, what does that mean?
Well, apparently in the plea agreement, Michael has agreed to do certain things, such as not hang around the bad influences that may lead him, to dogfighting or other vices. I know one of the stipulations of his plea agreement also is probably that he, not be around dogs. Apparently he can't own dogs anymore. And he also has to work with the Humane Society.
So one of the
to work toward helping animals instead of hurting them. So those kind of things. I think these are things that his parole officer will work with him on to make sure that he's
It's part of his probation. He's still on probation from the dogfighting charges.
Right.
Right. Now let me ask you, what kind of person has he been since he got out of prison? We didn't hear much about him after he went to the Eagles. I mean, there were a lot of protests and everything, but it seems like he stayed out of trouble since he got out of jail.
Oh, Michael Vick has stayed out of trouble. Michael Vick, I think, has really turned his life around. I think Michael Vick has learned a whole lot from this incident. I think it's made him a better person. I think Michael Vick would be the first one to tell you that this has made him a better person. If Mike had continued on the road, let's say that he was able to buy himself out of this dogfighting conviction. Michael Vick would be the first one to tell you that he would be a darn near egomaniac type person, thinking money could buy his way out of everything. But now Michael Vick realizes he really realizes that he was going the wrong way.
You say that though, but why would he be hanging out with one of the co-defendants from his dogfighting trial if he really had turned things around and realized the error of his ways?
Well, here's the thing: he wasn't hanging out with him. See, Michael Vick has a lot of friends and supporters here and fans, and they want to be around the celebrities. So some of Vick's supporters, they put on these parties. So Michael, and this is a birthday party thing. So they put on these parties, and so Michael Vick comes and he sits around and he shakes hands, autographs, whatever. Chills out, but the public is allowed to come in. Quantas came in uninvited and unannounced, apparently.
Ah, okay. So he wasn't on the guest list.
Right. He wasn't on the VIP list.
I gotcha. So, all right. Well, that adds another dimension to it, I guess. I mean, I would think that Michael, though, has enough people around him, friends and people that he trusts, that they would try to avoid letting in somebody or maybe try to get him out of there before something like this happens.
Somehow, and I don't know how long Quantas was there, but somehow after he got in, he was able to get close enough to Michael Vick for there to be a confrontation.
Just to be clear, Quantas is all right? I mean, other than being shot, it's not like he's in grave condition.
I heard that he was in good condition this morning, and I haven't seen any other later reports.
Right.
I'm sure that some of our reporters who cover police will be checking that later in the day. But
right.
From what I understand, it may have been like a leg or a thigh or something, because they say he was trying to limp away. I'm not really sure.
Wow.
But from what I understand, he was in good condition this morning. From what I understand, it was not life-threatening.
David Squires with us here on Sports Radio 610. David, can't say thank you enough for shedding some more light on a story that's still sort of, we're still finding out the details about. Appreciate you spending a few minutes and trying to clear things up for us.
Thank you.